இன்னும் ரெண்டு விஷயம் பார்த்தலாம். ஒன் இஸ் distribution. முன்னாடியே எழுதியிருக்கணும் அந்த பாயிண்ட். Distributionல you need to draw the world map and the maximum influencing region. எப்படி represent பண்ணுவோம்? Simple diagram. Draw with me. Practice drawing your maps within a time period of 20 seconds. It would give you more time in answer writing. Okay. So these are all the zones of your tropical cyclone. Tropical cyclone, it is represented something similar to this, but officially with an arrow mark. Arrow mark the official representation. Diagrammatic representation we'll use the spiral in the madri. This shape. Okay, tropical cyclone. In the tropical cyclone pair, this is my hurricanes. And this is my cyclones. These are my typhoons. And these are my willy willy. Now, what about my distribution? And we will see relevant. That is distribution of temperate cyclone. So how we represent? We represent like an inverted V with a low pressure. This is how we represent a temperate cyclone. Now tell me, where are they distributed? They are distributed in the tropical ocean waters with the different names, and they are quite absent. Distribution padikumbodhu and the exception da unga focus panna porom. Enna exceptions enna? Where cyclones are absent? The tropical cyclones are absent along the zone of doldrums. In the latitude of the 5 degree north to 5 degree south latitudes. Doldrums la absent foremost reason the winds are very feeble, as well as absence or very weak Coriolis force. Coriolis force is very minimum in my doldrums. Therefore, there is an absence of tropical cyclone in the region. Okay. Next, where in that absent the margins of oceans adorned with the cold current. Cold currents tropical latitudes la and cyclones form agad. So absent one zone of doldrums, the margins of ocean with cold current, presence of cold current. Presence of cold current within the latitudes, and the latitudinal distribution la in the rendu edathillume irukadu. There is an absence of Other names from the diagram you can take down. Next, looking into the distribution. Now tell me, tropical cyclone and temperate cyclone distribution is temperate latitudes. From the diagram, I have deliberately made to infer one important point. That is, we are talking about distribution of temperate cyclone in the northern hemisphere and the distribution of temperate cyclone in the southern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere, reason enna? Land dominated, so thermal contrast அதிகமா இருக்கும். இங்க uniform temperature due to dominance of ocean water, so temperate cyclones are minimal in number. Never illa no temperate cyclones nu எழுதிராதீங்க, that answer is wrong. So distribution la one liner, temperate cyclone is maximum. Temperate cyclones are more in number, illana maximum in the northern hemisphere than southern hemisphere. Same latitudinal distribution of southern hemisphere. Reason terinum, southern hemisphere is a ocean dominated sphere, therefore thermal contrasts or the air masses have relatively lesser contrasting nature, makes the temperate cyclone weaker. Okay, next, when you talk about this distribution, the next important point you need to talk is the season. When are they distributed or when are they occur more? So the criteria is season. Excuse me. They largely seasonal in nature. Tropical cyclones are seasonal in nature. இப்படி எழுதினாலே meaning என்ன? They does not occur throughout the year. வருஷம் பூரா cyclones இருக்காது. எந்த periodல they often occur during late summers in southern hemisphere. Normally late summers, especially in the month of August to October. Late summers, August to October in case of northern hemisphere. In a northern hemisphere summer na, southern hemisphere lade winter. And what about temperate cyclone? The convergence of air masses. Adukku or seasonal nature irukuma, or they are available throughout the year? Chuma guess karo. They are available throughout the year. They are formed throughout the year, but they are more active in summers. They are more in summers than winters. In winters only few. They are more intense or more active or more in number during summer than the winter. Okay, so இன்னொரு காமனான factor, that is the structure of ஒரு point ஆவே எழுதிருங்க, so that you can revise the table. Structure of the cyclone. This is my warm ocean waters. Warm ocean, temperature above 27 degrees Celsius. What would happen? Intense ascending of air and upper air divergence. Intense ascending naranda, what would happen? The relatively low pressure air would have a spiraling effect over my wind, right? It will have a spiraling effect, and thereby what would happen? The surface winds converge aguma, thereby the clouds are formed or intense condensation occurs. Cross section nalda indha mari varerum along the ascending warm moist air. These are all what? These are all rain bands. That is your cumulonimbus clouds, mostly your cumulonimbus clouds. And this is what? This is the eye wall. Eye wall. And this is my eye. Again, eye wall. So eye wall is characterized by intense ascendance, whereas eye is characterized by clear sky. In the opening therida, vaanam theriyudilla, yena idu varaikum da enoda megangal up due to divergence, upper air divergence, clouds are diverged. Appo along the eye, you can feel your clear sky, calm and clear sky. So this is the structure. In that that is your ascending warm air. Okay, to complete your diagram, this is what? This is your ascending column of warm air. Definitely, this is a low pressure system. This is my structure of my cyclone. And what about my temperate cyclone? Temperate cyclone is very simple. We have my warm front and cold front. Okay, so this is my cold front. Matured cyclone varayira nanu. So this is my cold front. This is my warm front. So this is my warm air. Warm sector. And this is my cold sector, characterized by so this is my cold sector. Matured tropical cyclone, low pressure. This is my low pressure. This is also low pressure. And low pressure we are obviously tempted to write cyclones, tropical cyclone as low and temperate cyclone as high. Don't ever do that. Okay, so structure of my cyclones, distribution, another important aspect to be talked about. Yes, impact of jet stream. Jet streams or wind patti எழுதிருக்கோம். So impact of jet stream. In case of tropical cyclone, there is no significant impact known. It is incomplete study. That jet stream oda tropical climates illa tropical cyclones oda impact relatively the study is incomplete. Therefore, as of now, we do not find any significant impact of jet stream over the formation or after the mechanism, after the distribution of my tropical cyclones. Whereas in case of temperate cyclone, there is a significant impact. There is a significant impact. Those who don't know, jet streams அப்படிங்கிறது geostrophic wind. For example, நான் இந்த இடத்துல எழுதுறேன், marginல வேணா note பண்ணுங்க. Earth surfaceக்கு மேல, அதாவது at a specific higher altitude, meander ஆயிட்டு இருக்கக்கூடிய, இந்த மாதிரி meander ஆயிட்டு இருக்கக்கூடிய high velocity winds தான் என்னன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க? Jet streams ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Might have heard jet streams are geostrophic winds. Types of winds நெல்லாம் போயிடுச்சு. So என்ன நடக்கும்னா இது ஒரே ஒரு single aspects எடுத்துக்காங்க. The jet stream meanders. Meandersனா from the diagram இது north south meandering இல்ல, up and down meander. So if I'm consider this jet stream meander, the meandering of jet stream, I'm going to erase this off to make it narrow band of wind, high velocity wind. So இதுக்கு கண்டிப்பா two segments இருக்கும், that is an upstanding portion and a depression like portion. அப்ப இந்த upstanding portion ridges of the jet stream னு சொல்வாங்க, ridges and this low lying portion is known as troughs. Jet stream liye ridges and troughs இருக்கும். So whenever ridges are formed, it would induce what? It would induce ascendance of air and upper air divergence. இல்லையா, அந்த மூவ்மெண்ட் தெரியுதா, அந்த ஷேப். அப்போ upper air divergence. அப்போ சர்ஃபேஸ்ல என்ன நடக்கும்? சர்ஃபேஸ்ல ascending air. ஏன்னா upper air divergence facilitates your ascendance of air. Whereas the troughs என்ன பண்ணும்? Troughs would induce divergence of air on the surface. So along the surface of mid latitudes, especially in the mid latitudes, ஒரு jet stream இருந்தா jet stream ஓட ridges எங்கெல்லாம் ஃபார்ம் ஆகுதோ அது என்ன பண்ணும்? upper air divergence facilitate பண்ணும். upper airல divergence நடக்குதுன்னா என்னோட surfaceல ascending air column அது என்ன pressure? low pressure. descending subsidence னா அது எந்த pressure? high pressure. high pressure to low pressure move ஆகுறது என்ன? this is my surface wind. Surface wind will always move from high pressure to low pressure region. Now we're going to understand this with the help of my atmospheric condition. Low pressure system இருந்தா அதுக்கு பேர் என்ன? cyclonic conditions. இல்லையா? So ridges of a jet stream, induces cyclonic condition or convergence of wind. Temperate cyclone formation இது இல்லையா? So இது என்னது? This is my cyclonic condition. Ridges of my jet stream induces cyclonic condition, and the troughs of jet stream induces anticyclonic condition. இன்னும் anticyclones பார்க்கல, இந்த comparison முடிச்சிட்டு பார்ப்போம். So cyclone என்னது? ridges of jet stream. Anticyclone எப்போ? troughs of jet stream. So this is the impact of jet stream over temperate and tropical cyclone. இதுல known impact இல்ல, அதுதான் விஷயம். ஏன்னா probably monsoon எல்லாம் இன்னும் தரவா படிச்சாங்க அப்படின்னா formation of tropical cyclones and jet stream க்கும் இல்ல relationship இல்ல, any interference என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். As of now இந்த இடத்துல nil தான். There is no major significant impact. Temperate cyclone இல்ல distribution of pressure regions in temperate latitudes is largely affected by movement of jet stream. ஏன்னா jet streams are confined to my upper latitudes. lower latitudes la form ஆகுற jet streams are seasonal in character. lower latitudes la இல்லனல்ல அர்த்தம் இல்ல, tropical easterly jet stream எல்லாம் ஒன்னு இருக்கு, ஆனா they are seasonal, temporary periodல தான். இந்த jet streams தான் permanent-ஆ அந்த latitude occupy பண்ணுவாங்க. so அவங்களோட ups and downs would create pressure distribution, and pressure distribution induces your atmospheric stability and instability. The last one impact இல்லனா consequence னு பார்த்தா tropical cyclone obviously what they will bring in heavy torrential rainfall, விடாத அதாவது torrentialனா with thunder and lightning, அந்த மாதிரி இடி மிட்டு மின்னல் kind of heavy rainfall, and some cases it would result in flood conditions, and one more term we studied, it would also result in what? Storm surges along the coastal regions. Yeah, heavy rainfall. So Innor aspects and economic aspects, it is more dangerous and disastrous. More dangerous and disastrous, especially for life and properties. Both infrastructure is also affected. Yeah. So both life and property. We call these tropical cyclones as what? These are your natural hazards. Yeah, natural calamity and natural hazards. So these fall under natural hazards, causing damages because of their violent nature, violent winds in the Madri. What about them? Temperate cyclones, even though they are so big, there are some temperate cyclones which can completely cover your North American continent. They are so big, but what they will do? They influence or they help in modifying the microclimate of the region. Microclimate of the region. Simple reminder, Pathma, Laurentian type of climate, British type of climate. Upon the temperate latitudes, climatic changes are they last for 2 to 3 weeks, and the winds are very gentle. Pressure gradient is very low. Appo disaster nature, the dangerous nature eliminate eliminate. They will modify the climate of the region, especially the coastal climates. Coastal climates are largely influenced by the temperate cyclone. If we want to mention rainfall and in some cases floods, they are also closely associated in your frontal distribution. Along the frontal distribution. In the front, heavy rainfall, sometimes resulting in flood conditions, cold front. Cumulonimbus clouds, heavy thunder and lightning order clouds fall agum. Illaya, there is another occasion, a disastrous angle. These temperate cyclone may also enhances the tropical cyclone in the American coast. For example, the nature of hurricanes. Hurricane is a tropical cyclone. And a temperate cyclone and the tropical cyclone club there may result in disastrous nature. Okay, especially American coast. Now, one factor, fundamental factor, along with rainfall and floods, there are chances of hailstorms. And in some cases, hailstorms are dangerous. Dangerous to crops. Okay, hailstorms because of the change in climatic condition and pressure variations. Okay, and the last one. The last, maybe last in சொல்லி நிறைய போயிட்டேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். எத்தனை criteria வந்திருக்கும்? Count the criteria.
18, ma'am.
18. Okay, not my favorite number, so we'll go for another one. Impact over India. Impact over India. Being a tropical country, it has most of my coastal regions are vulnerable to tropical cyclones. Vulnerable to tropical cyclones, especially which margin? Especially the eastern coasts of India. Especially the eastern coast. The cyclones forming in the Bay of Bengal are driven towards your India mainland due to the east to west direction, trade wind belt. Bay of Bengal form, Arabian Sea form, they are driven away from India mainland. So maximum impact in the belt, eastern margins are most vulnerable than my western coast. Obviously, the coasts of Gujarat, the coast of Malabar, Kerala, they also experience cyclonic impact. But the most affected are West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. These are the coasts which are most affected by your cyclonic activity. More vulnerable. Consequences these states receive or India receives cyclonic rainfall. India receives cyclonic rainfall. Okay. Last one. What about the impact of temperate cyclones over India? Okay, for example, okay. Temperate cyclones favorite breeding grounds, breeding areas எல்லாம் இருக்கு. இதுல நான் தப்பா இருந்திருக்கேன். இந்தியா ரொம்ப மேல போகணும். ஓகே. இந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்க கூடாது. ஓகே, one second. Okay. So there are some principal breeding grounds of cyclones, temperate cyclones also. அதுல ஒரு முக்கியமான இடம் is your Mediterranean front ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. In and around Mediterranean Sea and your Caucasian mountains, Caspian Sea, Black Sea எல்லாம் இருக்கு இல்லையா? So இந்த region வந்து one of the most important breeding grounds of tropical cyclone, Mediterranean front. Okay. Now what happens? Whenever a cyclone dissipates, in the இடத்துல form ஆன cyclone, temperate cyclone dissipate ஆன பிறகு, the moisture would be kept in that particular air. இல்லையா? Cold air, warm air ங்கிற ஒரு mixture இருக்கும். So because of the jet streams, subtropical westerly jet stream, to be more specific, இல்லைனா I'm going to use the word jet streams. Jet streams along with the westerlies. What would happen? They will bring these cyclonic remnants and it enters India in the northwestern part of India, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana plain, and it will continue along the Gangetic plains of India. Okay, so in the madriyana ஒரு moisture laden winds, moisture எங்க இருந்து கிடைக்குது? இந்த cyclone ஓட remnants. அது ஒன்னு ஒரு சைக்ளோன் மெச்சூர் ஆகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே டெசிபேட் ஆயிருக்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா ஒரு செகண்டரி சைக்ளோன் சொல்லுவாங்க. மல்டிபிள் சைக்கிள்ஸ் ஆஃப் சைக்ளோன் ஃபார்மேஷன். ஏன்னா மெச்சூர் ஆகலனா, அந்த தெர்மல் கான்ட்ராஸ்ட் நல்லா இல்லைன்னா சைக்ளோன் இந்த ஸ்டேஜஸை கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணாது. அப்ப எங்கனாச்சும் ஒரு இடத்துல மிஸ் ஆனா அந்த பர்டிகுலர் சைக்ளோனோட மாய்ஸ்சரை இந்த வெஸ்டர்லீஸும் ஜெட் ஸ்ட்ரீமும் என்ன பண்ணும்? மெனக்கெட்டு இந்தியா வரைக்கும் கொண்டு வரும். ஓகே, அப்படி கொண்டு வரும்போது தி வெஸ்டர்ன் சைட் ஆஃப் இந்தியா, எஸ்பெஷலி தி நார்த் வெஸ்டர்ன் சைட், receives rainfall. And this phenomena is known as western disturbances. Western disturbances. Disturbances na enna? Atmospheric disturbances la the most integral part of atmospheric disturbances cyclones. India பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் அந்த cyclones எங்க இருந்து வருது? From the west side. That is why we name western disturbances. So by definition, western disturbances are nothing but temperate cyclones. India receives rainfall by a segment of your temperate cyclones, but not directly. Directa temperate cyclones form agala, engiyo form ana temperate cyclone due to general atmospheric circulations and upper air circulation. It has been transported and brought into India. Major reason inga ellame continuous distribution of land, which facilitates the movement of air mass. அப்ப என்ன நடக்கும்? இந்த இடத்துல rainfall கொடுக்கும். So this is the most important impact of temperate cyclone over India. Okay, இன்னும் ஒரே ஒரு aspect. Give the heading anticyclone. Means criteria is anticyclones. இது 20 ஆயிடுமா? 20 criteria ஆயிடுமா? Okay. Anticyclones na whenever a tropical cyclone occur, there is need not necessary that an anticyclone should follow. And the marla end the condition mail. There is no close association. Yar kuda with the tropical cyclones. No close association or no relationship or any kind of connection between cyclones and anticyclones. Whereas temperate cyclones are preceded and succeeded by. I'm not sure of the spelling ma. Succeeded preceded and succeeded by anticyclonic condition. Meaning cyclonic condition வரதுக்கு முன்னாடியும் பின்னாடியும் இதான் preceded, இது succeeded. So temperate cyclone ஒரு region form ஆகுதுன்னா அந்த regionக்கு அந்த cyclone activityக்கு முன்னாடியும் பின்னாடியும் எந்த atmospheric condition இருக்கும், anticyclonic condition இருக்கும் for a short duration. But not that is the case of my tropical cyclone, because tropical cyclone itself is a seasonal phenomena. Late summers la varakoodiya oru temporary time period da cyclone. Whereas temperate cyclones ingradhu enna, throughout the year they would be found there. So ella naalume cyclonic condition irukadhu illaya, and edathila oru anticyclonic condition irukum. So anticyclone condition is found in close association with what? With your temperate cyclone. It is preceded and succeeded by anticyclonic conditions, high pressure conditions. Okay, that's all I can recollect as of now. Okay, go back home, make a detailed comparison over the study, distribution, shape, mechanism, impact, everything about the cyclones.